Good evening, folks. Welcome to the 59th episode of the Ken Matias Sports Podcast. I have a wonderful guest here with me. I got Ian Eagle, play-by-play broadcaster that's done the NFL on CBS, Brooklyn Nets, TNT Sports. I'm probably forgetting some stuff, so help me.
Ken, I'm old, so
No, you're not.
There's a lot on that resume. Yeah, I started professionally in 1990, graduated college, and I cannot even wrap my brain around the fact that it's been 35 years, but it has, and I still have my own hair, so it all worked out.
Hey, that's a good thing. I mean, that's great. Wow, 35 years in the business. I mean,
Yeah.
what talk about the beginnings. Like, how'd you get into it? What was your passion for sports when you were a kid? And I mean, just go from there, honestly.
I think like a lot of people, yourself included, I'm sure,
Yep.
I just was so passionate about sports in general, knowledge, facts, figures, the background of players, coaches, front office, all of it. And
Hmm.
pre-internet, you really had to go out and do the work. If you wanted to learn about a particular sport, it required you to read the baseball encyclopedia or baseball digest, whatever I could get my hands on to consume that would make me more knowledgeable and set me up to then bring that knowledge to whatever space I ended up in, whether it was socially or, little did I know at that point, professionally. But I knew I wanted to do this at a very young age. I had a keen interest in it. I paid attention to it on the broadcasting side, who was
Hmm.
broadcasting the games, what their style was, what were they known for, how they used their voices, radio, TV, all of it. I was just locked in. So when I got a chance to actually go do it up at Syracuse University, I had no real idea whether or not it would be easy, hard, natural, unnatural. And I was a blank canvas that committed myself to trying to learn what the necessary steps were and then do it the right way. Don't skip any steps along the way. And that's how I approached it. And in many ways, I still have that same approach. If I get assigned something that is not necessarily within my day-to-day purview of what I follow, I just throw myself into it. And I've had that on a number of occasions with sports that may not be under a certain category of day in, day out passion, but track and field, boxing,
Hmm.
golf, tennis, volleyball. I said yes to these assignments because I knew it would make me a better broadcaster. And that's how I've tried to approach every assignment along the way.
No, that's great. I know, it's a lot of like the same things that people grow up, they want to be the next
Yeah,
Jim Nance, Iron Eagle. I mean, just these guys that we look up to. And it's so difficult because you got to do, like you said, you got to do those odds and ends sports, volleyball, whatever it is,
sure.
track and field. But I mean, it's hard to get an NFL job, obviously. I mean, calling NFL games, that must be hard. But I mean, I just wanted you to talk about a little bit about like your career, how you've done basketball, football. Have you done baseball as well? I mean, just feel free to say what you've done to the
Yeah,
crowd out
back in
there.
college, I was doing some baseball stuff with the Syracuse Chiefs and had some chances to do it at the major league level,
Hmm.
but had gone pretty far down the road in other sports, NFL, NBA particularly. And in trying to strike balance in your life with a wife and children,
Hmm.
my choice back then was to not actually take those assignments. Really, the only thing I've turned down when I look back on it now during that stretch of time. And it was really based on just a personal issue of I had a very finite amount of time off, and those games would have occupied
Hmm.
that time. At the time, I had, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the idea of working 12 straight months, 365 days a year, basically, I'm not sure that would have been the best thing on a marriage. So that was really the only thing that I never quite pursued based on the fact that I had advanced in some other sports. Baseball was my passion growing up. It was number one by a long shot. Everything was a distant second. But in this career, when other opportunities pop up, you go take advantage of them. You do the best you can with them. And fortunately, those opportunities turned into other opportunities and other reps that I ended up getting from NBA to college hoops and NFL with some college football sprinkled in. I did Army Navy for I think it was 8 straight years, I believe. I'd
Wow.
have to look back and check on it. And they were great. It was a tremendous assignment. Ended up doing them with Boomer Esiason
Hmm.
the majority of the time. We had a blast together. Really enjoyed meeting the cadets and the midshipmen from Army and Navy. And just another thing I can look back on and say I had the chance to experience it.
No, that's amazing. I mean, your career has just been incredible. I mean, calling all kind of games. I mean, do you know how many games you've actually called? I mean, you probably haven't
No.
counted, but it's got to be over 1,000 at least.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's way over that number.
Yeah.
I would say, Ken, what I did decide to do, probably year two doing the Nets. I was
Hmm.
working with Bill Raftery and we grew very close. And we were out to lunch one day in Milwaukee. And I asked him, I was very young at the time, maybe 26, and asked him, hey, how many different broadcast partners have you had? And he said, ooh, Barry, let's make a list. And he grabs a paper napkin. He's got a pen. He starts writing down names. And he got to about 20 and said, that's all I can remember. And he crumpled up the paper and he threw it away. And I thought to myself, this is 1996. I thought to myself, you know what? I'll keep a list and I'll keep a running list. And one day we'll see where that number is. And I did a game with Mark Sanchez a few weeks ago. He did a Jets preseason game, and
Yep.
he was my 158th different broadcast partner that I've worked with in
Wow.
television, radio in some form. So the
Yep.
list is still growing. And that part I do know. The number of games, no, I lost track a long time ago.
Wow, 158 between hoops, the NFL, whatever else you've
Tennis,
got, 10.
golf, boxing, track and field. Yeah,
Wow.
pretty
In
wild.
this industry in 30 plus years, 35 almost 40 years. Wow. That is amazing. I mean, how is it working with these athletes as well, like former quarterback Mark Sanchez?
Yeah.
I usually teamed up with Charles Davis on the NFL
Yeah, I've been
CBS.
with
Yeah,
Charles
I was
the
gonna
last 5 years. This year, I'm going to be with J.J. Watt. We
JJ
did
Watt.
a game together last week, preseason game, Jets Philadelphia. We'll have Steelers Jets week one of the NFL season. So looking forward to that. Charles and I had a great run. He's a
Hmm.
really close friend and outstanding broadcaster. JJ, he's the real deal. He's got a chance to be
Hmm.
outstanding at this. My mentality is always the same. How can I best showcase their skills? Be a good partner, be a good teammate,
Yep.
and find out what they're comfortable doing. If they're comfortable on strategy, then lean into that. If they love the X's and O's, lean into that. If they have a great sense of humor, we'll do that. If they love
Hmm.
to tell stories, set them up for that. I think the biggest key when you're dealing with a professional athlete who's making the transition or has already transitioned to television and radio, and now you're a partner. And these are arranged marriages. You don't get to choose
Yep.
who you're going to work with, others choose. The biggest key is just putting them in the most comfortable space possible and building trust. That's the biggest word that I could possibly focus on and showcase for them, that they know they can trust me. I'll never take them down a road that is going to bring them to a bad place. I'll always be there for them
Hmm.
to they can lean on. I can diffuse a situation if I need to tag something with a comedic line or something for context. Great. If I have to correct them, I correct them in a way that's respectful and within the flow of the broadcast. And then them knowing that I'm on their team. We're going to be judged together as a team, not necessarily individually. So that's been my general philosophy on it. It served me well, and also what you do off the air.
Hmm.
You can't just turn the mic off and then go to your respective rooms or cars or rides to the airport, there still has to be interaction. There has to be a relationship that forms. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends,
Yeah.
but you do have to find common ground and commonality to get along.
Yeah, I figured with these athletes, I mean, you've called probably JJ Watt games in the past, and
Yeah.
they probably rely on you like for advice, like, hey, like how do you do this? What am I doing wrong? How do I get better? And
Yeah.
how do they take the criticism? Obviously, he's been part of the NFL Today. Actually like watching the NFL Today
Yeah.
because you guys do a great set on that. But how have these guys adjusted from being on the field, grinding 24/7, now being in the broadcast booth?
You know what I find, Ken? Most of them want to be coached. They're used to being coached.
Yeah.
They're accustomed to it.
Hmm.
And there's a way to do it. Your bedside manner has to be one that encourages improvement and is not a laundry list every time you're on the air. I would never go to my partner and give them 10 things that they need to work on.
Yeah.
I'd give them two or three to focus on. And I wouldn't do it every single week. I'd let some time pass and then I would probably Oreo cookie it. You're a young dad, and I could give you some advice moving forward with your son, which is Oreo cookie, encouraging point, criticism of some sort in between, and then end on a positive.
Hmm.
So you're sandwiching in the feedback and criticism within reinforcement. And that's how I would attack this. I'm not sure JJ is going to need a whole lot. He is naturally really talented, sees the game well,
Hmm.
articulates it well, great personality, fun side to him, wants to laugh, self-deprecating despite his Hall of Fame career. So he checks so many boxes already, and I think the sky's the limit.
No, it's great. Like, I'm all for these athletes getting in broadcasting. I'm like, if I never get there, kudos to them. They had the end. They did their 10,
Yeah.
15 years in the league, whatever sport they played. And I just love seeing like more and more athletes just transition to the broadcast booth. And then, I mean, they're under one of the best like you. I mean, it's just amazing. Like Romo and Jim Nance, I mean, those guys paired up together. I think they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
You and whoever, JJ, Charles, obviously in the past. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's good things to say. But
Yeah, and what ends up happening, Ken, friendships are formed. Dan
hmm.
Fouts was my partner for 10 years.
Yep.
He's one of the great quarterbacks of all time. He's one of the great people of all time. I consider him one of my best friends
Yep.
because we spent all that time together and you develop a shorthand of what the other person is thinking, how to best anticipate it. And I think that's really the biggest key in the broadcast booth is getting to that place of keeping it really natural and conversational, but professional. And that's the line that I try to walk. The question I'm constantly asking myself when I'm on the air is, would I find this interesting if I were at home watching? And that is always on my mind when I enter into a deeper conversation with my analyst on the air. I'm asking myself, if I was sitting and watching this game, would I care about what they're saying?
Yeah.
And when you joke around, which I'm certainly one to do if the situation calls for it, is it at the right time?
Hmm.
Are you doing it at a time where people can accept a little bit of levity? Or are you picking the worst possible moment, an important moment in the game or a serious issue going on, and then trying to work in something that doesn't fit? That's where things go sideways or people's reactions can be cringeworthy in what they're feeling in the moment. You never want the audience to feel uncomfortable. You want them to feel comfortable. You want them to exhale and feel as if, hey, I'm sitting around enjoying the banter and the game is going on and I feel like I'm as one with the broadcast crew that's doing it.
No, that's great. Especially, God forbid, if there's an injury, like you
Yeah.
guys do a great job. Like, hey, we'll step aside, go to commercial.
Yes.
That's the best thing to do because just give the person all the treatment
Yep.
that they need on the field, and then you guys are just waiting to come back to the broadcast. So,
And Ken, what I think about in those situations, honestly, and this was clear to me from day one doing television and radio, if a person is injured, that their mom or dad or significant other or brother or sister could be watching or
That's
listening in the
true.
moment and treat it with the respect that it deserves. They
Hmm.
know nothing. They're at home and they're waiting on pins and needles
For
for
you
any
guys to maybe
information
say something, yeah.
completely. So I just believe that has to be handled with the right tone and the right touch.
Hmm.
Never take for granted this is a human being. Then that human being has a family and friends that have no information until you provide them with it.
Yeah, no, you guys always do a good job when it comes to that or whatever else, God
Yeah.
forbid that can happen in a game. So, I mean, I respect that out of you guys because that's a serious matter. No matter if it's just a freak injury or, oh, he limped off the field, he or she limped off the field, but
Yeah.
she's okay. But
Yeah. Don't dismiss
yeah.
something that you don't believe is that major. It's major to someone. So you
Hmm.
have to finish the story. Something that would bother me as a viewer is injury happens, go to break, and then they come back from break and they're on to something else.
Yeah, that
And you
doesn't
say,
make
well,
sense.
what happened?
Hmm.
What was the end result? Even if it is just reporting he went back to the locker room, or he's in the blue tent, or he walked off on his own power, or he needed to be carted off. You have to finish that part of the story. You have to put a period on it so people understand
Hmm.
what took place and not just move on because you have a graphic that you have to get in. You've got to finish the story.
No, absolutely. And you guys will be like, hey, further information, you guys will go
Yep,
to the sideline hit, and it's just like, hey, yeah, blah, blah,
completely.
blah. So that's great. But I know we're short on time. I definitely wanted, I know I'm jumping around here. I definitely want to hit on your son, Noah.
Yeah,
Hell of a nice guy. Had him on my podcast last year, right before he did the Brazil game.
yep.
What's your thoughts on your son being so successful at a young age? Because he seems like he's really young, up and coming broadcaster, and he's been successful already.
Yeah, it's been amazing, Ken. Just cool that he was interested in this career just from a father-son standpoint. When your
Hmm.
son is into what you do, that's satisfying enough. But then when they decide they want to pursue it and then excel in it, that's a different level. And what I've learned for myself is whatever feelings I had of being in this business, of trying to succeed, trying to get better and polish my skills, it pales in comparison to whatever it is Noah does on a week to week basis. The pride I feel when he did the Olympics last year, I hadn't felt pressure like that in a long time in my life. As an American watching the games, Olympic basketball, because they were in a battle, as we know, against Serbia and then against France in the semifinals and the gold medal
Gold
game.
medal.
So, right out of the gate, you're feeling a level of pressure and stress because you're not sure what's going to happen. And then add the layer that your kid is calling the game, and these calls are going to live forever. Whether he nailed it or not, they're going to live. And the fact that he did nail it and performed great and met the moment, that was incredibly gratifying. I was beyond proud of him, and I'm really just proud of him on a personal level, more so even than professionally. Having someone like you, Ken, and others that I interact with that say, "Hey, I met your son. What a great guy."
Yeah, no, he is for
That
sure.
means more
Yeah.
than just, "Hey, met your son. Great pipes or great broadcaster." That's great,
No,
but
he seems like a
the
really
human
nice
side is
kid.
more
Yeah,
important. Thank you.
no problem. I mean, I get to meet most of my people through Zoom anyways on my
Yep.
podcast, so I don't know them personally. I just know them from afar, but it's just great to interact with people like you and, your son Noah. And I
Yeah,
mean, I just,
appreciate it.
no, I really appreciate you guys, what you guys do in the industry because broadcasting's been a passion of mine since I was very little. And if I never make it someday for anything, I mean, I've called like local high school games and stuff like that, but
Cool.
I mean, I haven't really advanced far from there, but I know I could have a potential of going further, but who knows? We'll see what
Yep.
life takes me day by
Well,
day.
you have a great attitude, which is often half the battle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But sticking with Noah, what like age did he like approach you and be like, "Dad, I love what you do. I go to the games with you. I want to do this for a career." Like, was he like a teenager? Was he like 10?
I would say 13,
Yeah.
14, I saw a real level of understanding, and his questions began to shift. They weren't as much sports related, they were more broadcast
Mm-hmm.
related. And I remember vividly, working a game at Jersey, so NBA game, and afterwards he he wanted to know why I turned and looked at my broadcast partner during the open as opposed to looking at the camera. And I thought, oh, okay, he's paying attention at a different level.
Yeah.
And I explained that, it's like being at a party
Mm-hmm.
and it's three people in a conversation. And it's me, my broadcast partner, and the camera is the third person in the conversation. And the goal, whenever you're in a conversation with anyone, is to pay attention to the person that's talking
Mm-hmm.
while also acknowledging that there's somebody else in the conversation. And I explained it to him that way, and he understood it. And then he put it to use when he got to Syracuse 5 years later to start trying to do this on his own. And that's really all it is. It's asking a simple question and giving my version of how I view it. That when the person is talking, that's where the focus is.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to maintain the understanding that it's a three-way conversation. And to me, that was a clear indicator that he was viewing this through a different lens and he was serious about it, not just asking for his health. He actually wanted to know.
No, for sure. I mean, him getting the Clippers gig, he did that for a few years. And
Yeah.
is he working with you with the Nets too?
He is. Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
do some games with the Nets. He's got more
NBC.
responsibility with NBC and
Mm-hmm.
NBA, so I'm not sure how the games are going to break down, but yeah, he'll be there, which I know for him is a passion project because he actually grew up a legitimate Nets fan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real. That's in his soul, in his heart, and lived and died by the Nets results. A lot of bad results through the years, but had some good years in there as well, which I know for him are fond memories, sports memories that he still clings to.
Mm-hmm. And is he doing TV side still like you
Yeah.
or yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so will you guys be together? No.
No, no, no.
That that
He'll
would be
he'll
that would be
step in.
amazing. You guys got to make that happen with the Nets. Both play-by-play guys together. I know that's
Maybe one
unheard
day.
of. I know that's unheard of because it's usually a
Yeah.
color or you got an former NBA player or
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Ken Noah played high school basketball, so
So he
he
knows
would be
he
the
can do the color.
analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He
He
would
can
be
do
the
the color.
analyst. I'd be the play-by-play guy. And you know what? I've watched enough basketball after 31 years of doing the NBA.
I'm sure you could
I'll
figure
be
it out.
the analyst for a quarter. We'll just give it a whirl.
That'd be awesome. You guys together, father and son, on one broadcast, one
One
game.
day.
I mean,
One day.
hopefully. But no, it's great to see him do a lot of great things.
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, is he doing he's doing NBC football too, right? I know Tarico
Yeah.
does it, but he's going to be doing
College. Yeah, he's
college.
doing college on Saturday nights, and then if they have a second NFL game,
Hmm.
he would step in and work that broadcast too.
I know he'll do like a wild card game or whatever round that NBC
Yeah,
covers, but that's just great. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Noah seems like a good kid, so
thank you.
you've been
Means a lot.
blessed. I mean, the apple
Really
doesn't fall
appreciate it.
far from the
Well, I
tree.
think my wife gets a lot of the credit, but I'll take some.
You should take just a little
A little
smidge.
bit. I'll take credit for his looks. How about
Is
that?
But obviously, before I let you go, I like to ask some people this. What's like the best advice that you could give for a person like myself, people younger than me, older than me that's still pursuing
Yeah.
like broadcasting? What's the best advice that you could give somebody, that wants to become in the business, even if it's off air?
Yeah, I think positivity goes a long way, and what you put into the world on a daily basis. If you're the person that's constantly asking yourself, why not me? Why didn't this happen for me? Why him? Why her? Then you've lost focus
Hmm.
on how to improve and evolve. The goal is to get better. So, are you doing the things necessary to get better? Are you maximizing who you are? I believe that talent wins. If you're talented at play by play, eventually that tape or that reel or that link is
That
going to
link,
get
yeah.
someone's attention. I know things have changed through the years, so
No, it's
the
true. You're
link
right.
now is
Yeah.
is bigger than the tape.
Yeah.
But that always wins out. You know when you're listening to something that belongs on the air, and you know when you're not. And there's a combination of your ability, your preparation, your performance in the moment, because you could be great at preparing for the game, but then not so great performing. You could be great at performing, but not so great at the preparation. The two worlds have to marry.
Hmm.
You got to be great at both because great preparation can help lead to great performance. And I just think saying yes, making yourself available, taking on any opportunity that comes your way that allows you to get better and to add to what you've done to make you more of a well-rounded broadcaster. And that's the other part too. You have to be a well-rounded person. If you want to be great at this, I think you have to be well-read. You have to know what's going on in the world. You have to understand what's happening in pop culture. The ones that separate themselves are not just based on your voice quality or your word usage or choice, but it's also who you are. The essence of you has to come through when you do these games or a talk show or a podcast. I want to know who you are, and that needs to be a part of it. It doesn't mean that you're self-promoting. It doesn't mean you make yourself more important than the game. Quite the opposite. But what you're all about does need to seep through in what you do. So, best advice I would give is be self-critical, listen to your stuff back, be honest with yourself about it, where you can improve, how you can get better, and check yourself. Make sure you're not just getting into the same habits of doing it the same way over and over. Self-improvement is a big key here, and finding that level of confidence and being comfortable. When you're comfortable, the audience is comfortable.
No, I appreciate it. And just with that, I will end this. Thank you so much for being a guest on my
Yeah.
podcast. I really do.
Ken, it's number 59. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have
I'm
missed it
getting
for the
there.
world.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know you got a super busy schedule.
My pleasure. I'm not sure if you're a Pats guy, but if you are, I think things are looking up. You got the right
All
guy
right,
in Mike
before
Vrabel.
before we end this, all right, that I'm fine with this. I am a Pats guy. I'm a diehard Patriots fan,
Yep.
but I kind of low key root for like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals because I'm a Kyler Murray
Really?
guy. Yeah, weird. Since I've liked them since college, and I've been a Falcons kind of
Mm.
fan, I guess, but I'm a diehard Pats fan because of Matt Ryan, obviously, a BC guy, whatever, local ties,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
I get it. I get it.
But seeing we got
He's
a
a great
little bit,
guy, by the way,
Matt.
and
Oh yeah,
excellent
I was
broadcaster.
gonna say he does a lot of good things for
Really
CBS too.
terrific,
But
terrific,
if
outstanding.
if you have 5 minutes to talk about this, I'd greatly appreciate it. So the floor is yours on the NFL season and the Pats. What do we got going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I just believe in credibility more than
Hmm.
anything else. When Mike Vrabel walks into a room, it's instant respect. And with that, there's a command. He has a command in what he does. I do think the football acumen is outstanding. He is very detail oriented. He does not suffer fools. So if you're not prepared, he will dress you down.
Hmm.
And that will change habits very quickly. So I can't say definitively this year they're ready to bust out. It may take a little time, but my belief is you have the right person in the job moving forward. I believe in him. I believe in him as a decision maker. I believe in him as a talent evaluator, and I believe in him as a football coach. The game management, the leave no stone unturned, that's all very real. Roster wise, that's how it works in the NFL. You got to sift through
Hmm.
a cycle sometimes, and they'll eventually get to where they want to be with
I'm
him.
hoping.
General NFL, look, I think the question for me is, are the Bills ready to finally do it in the
They
AFC?
deserve it. They deserve it. Being a Pats fan, they deserve it. Josh
Yeah.
Allen deserves it. McDermott deserves it. That whole ownership group deserves a championship after what happened to them.
And is Detroit ready to really
That's another one
take
too.
the next step?
Hmm.
If you told me today that the Lions and Bills are playing in the Super Bowl, I would tell you, without even knowing the path of how they got there, that would be a tremendous storyline
It
in
would.
the NFL. A lot can
Hmm.
change. We know that in this
Injuries, things
league,
like that. Yeah.
injuries and freak issues that
Hmm.
take place during an NFL season. But going in, there's some really juicy narratives around the NFL, and I'm excited to get it rolling.
No, absolutely. And I hate to stop you here. I got a little breaking news on my watch here.
Yeah,
So Micah Parsons went to the Packers from the Cowboys. What's your
there
thoughts
you
on
go.
that? What's your thoughts
So
on that? Just leading into that.
I mean, that to me speaks to what we were just discussing, that
Yeah.
crazy stuff happens in
You
the
just finished
NFL.
saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, never would have anticipated that. He could be a complete game changer for the Green
Absolutely.
Bay Packers. A team that limped to the finish line last year, had
Hmm.
to settle for the 7 seed in the NFC, couldn't get it done in the postseason against Philadelphia, didn't play very well. Jordan Love didn't play very well. I believe in them offensively. I think they still have a chance to be a dynamic offense. The questions were whether or not they had the impact players defensively, and
Look
I
at
think we
that.
just got a resounding yes on
Yeah.
that. So that could shift the tide. And now, what does that mean for Dallas? The Cowboys, they've accepted the idea that they're not going to have one of the great generational talents because they didn't want to deal with the headache or just didn't want to pay the freight.
That's crazy to let a guy just walk out of your building. I'm not going to compare that to Tom Brady leaving New England, but that's up there. Parsons leaving Dallas, that is wow. I didn't think it was
Big.
going to come down to that. That is huge.
Huge, huge NFL news. And, that's my point. We can have all the prognosticators, we have
Hmm.
all the opinions laid out of how the season is going to go. And it takes one finger snap
Yeah, you were right.
with a change like that might shift the balance of power in the NFC. Pretty wild.
I want to give a quick shout out to my dad. He's a Cowboys fan. I'm going to talk to him tonight about this. So I'm sorry, Dad, but Parsons is
maybe,
going to the Packers.
maybe that should be podcast number 60, an emergency edition.
Emergency edition. Just talking about the big trade. But Ian, thank you so much
Ken,
again.
my
That
pleasure.
wraps it up. Thank you
All
so
right, bud.
much.
All the best, man.
Thank you.